Alright, here we go. Okay, welcome in everybody. Let's get me moved and shared and all the things. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi guys.
Okay, let me find myself and get myself shared. So we are in an event today with Grace Creations, and the theme is Butterfly Chippy. So we will be creating a butterfly, and hopefully you guys like what we're going to be doing. Okay, so where am I? I'm totally had a brain moment there and did not know where I was sharing myself to. Whew, y'all, it's been a day. Thank you, Miss Sherry. I appreciate it. Hello there, Miss Mary. Welcome, welcome. Again, thank you so much for popping in, guys. Hopefully you will like what we will be doing. I am the last presenter for the evening, so just so that you know, but you are still welcome to come and hang out with me, and make sure that you go back and watch the other creators. I've seen some of their projects and absolutely amazing as always. So much beautiful talent, and thank you. Hello there, crazy granny. How are you? Thank you for coming in, friends. I appreciate it. All right, let me get us moved over. Here we go. Press the right button. All right, so this is a butterfly I had picked up at the Dollar Tree, and we are going to, it is made out of the plywood, you know, that the thin plywood that they normally have their shapes out of. Thank you for the sprinkles, Miss Diana. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm taking that off. I may or may not use that hanger. I don't know. We'll see. So today is all about butterflies and Chippy. So we're actually going to take this butterfly and Chippy it up. Okay. And I have to remind myself what was the difference between Chippy and what's the other method? Crackle. Because I do crackle a lot instead of Chippy. So fingers crossed that it'll come out. Because like I said, alright. So whether you are doing a Chippy or a crackle, you want to make sure that your darker color is on the bottom. And I do kind of want to go whimsical with this, so we are going to go with a dark red on the bottom. If I can find something to put this on. Well, I didn't want that much paint. But this paint is all dry and gloopy, so it is what it is. Thank you again for all the shares. I really do appreciate that. Alright, so we're just going to get, and of course now I'm going to have probably way too much paint. But we are going to paint, and this is acrylic paint. It's nothing like, you know. It is a Craft Smart, so it's Michael's brand, and it is called Berry Red, and I really like this color, so I'm going to have to go and find some more of it. Talking about paints, I noticed that Hobby Lobby has several of their paints were on clearance. Their brand and the Deco Art. So if anybody is in need of paints and you have a Hobby Lobby near you, you might want to go check that out. Now mine didn't have a whole lot left. But I don't go to Hobby Lobby that often, so I'm not sure when it started. Hey there, sweet Carla. But I want this red to be what shines through. And I think it's going to look really pretty. So again, I am putting my darker color down. And then I need to, hopefully, I still have my candle near me, so I can do the chippy part. And then this is gonna be, I do plan to add something to the back of it. Does anybody have any idea what I might be going to add to the back of it? Seeing as there's lots of open cavities, I feel like it is totally telling me I need to put something back there. Any ideas what I might be thinking? I said I love this paint, but this bottle is paint's all dry. It's very, very gloopy. I really need to go find some more. Hopefully I can find it. Hello there, Brandy. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome to Grace Creations event, where we are doing beautiful butterfly Chippy. I am the last presenter for the day, but there are so many wonderful creators that were on today that you can go watch replays and be inspired by. So please join the free group so that you can enjoy watching them and learning from them. So what has everybody done on this Monday? I don't know, we were supposed to get some really bad storms and stuff, and luckily I didn't really see much. Of course, we had our classes go virtual just in case, which might have been a good thing because I was kind of tired. Thank you for the sprinkles. I appreciate that very, very much. I know usually being the last one on, there's not that many people that tend to be awake, but that's okay. That's alright. I mean, that's what replays are for, right? And like I said, I'm good with it because it's a good time for me. But I have so many friends who are during the day doing things, from work or watching grandkids that nighttime is hard to be up so late. Hey there, Miss Teresa. How are you, my friend? So I'm just doing my first layer here of paint, which is my bottom layer for the Chippy. It is the darker color that I want to shine through. But even though we did get lots of really strong winds in the afternoon, like it was really bad. So hopefully nobody around us had too much damage from the winds. You know, when the birds don't fly, you know it's way too windy. And I feel so bad. So we normally have little birds that tend to nest right in our porch. And I have like a little hanging planter thing, basket, that I put there's some what do you call those? Artificial, it's like an artificial plant but that droops. So there's still a lot of space left in the basket, and they tend to have made their little nests there. And you know, first year we noticed it, they built a nest. The second year they built on top of the nest. The third year didn't see anybody, and then this year, so we pulled the old nests out, and then this year there was another set of birds out there. But then last night I heard a lot of commotion. Like you could hear the birds were tweeting like crazy, and I'm like, the heck is up with them? And I had told Gare the night before that I had heard them as well. Of course, him and his sarcastic mouth was like, well, they're probably getting their, thing on. And I'm like, they're birds, but okay. I was like, I don't think that was them doing anything like that. And then I heard it again last night, and this morning Gare pointed out that there was a little egg cracked on the floor right by our door. And so I climbed up to see, took a picture, and he was like, is there anything left inside? I was like, no. So something got to their egg. I feel so bad because I love seeing the little birdies. I know. I was like, no. That was sad. So who knows what got to the birds? I don't know what got to them, but it was sad to see the little egg down like that. Because the first year and the second year, we even got pictures of the little chicks while they were still in the nest. It was so cute. Yep, I know. And I told him, I was like, yeah, see, something was wrong. We do know that we have a pair of hawks that have a nest right across the street from our property. So I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was a squirrel, because we have loads of squirrels. My daughter was like, it was the cats. I'm like, they were all inside. Every single one of them was inside, so it wasn't the cats. Hello there, Sherry and Sheila. How are you, my friends? Thank you guys for popping in. I'm just trying to dry this paint right here. It's really thick, I need to probably see if I can dilute it some, because I do like it. But I need to try, I'm trying to dry it right now. I hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful evening. My mat does not like when I put the heat to it. Okay. So let's see if I have if I have my candle piece for the wax. Because we are doing Chippy, and Chippy requires us to use wax to get that look to it, and then we have to scrape it off. Alright, let me go see if I can find a candle right quick, y'all. Or Vaseline, one of the two. Lord. Not even my Vaseline. Alright, well I know what I'm putting on my next list. I need to get just a plain old candle so I can have it for whenever I sign up for something like this. Okay, so I'm just adding some of this Vaseline around. Yes, this weather is very crazy, I agree. It's, you know, they were calling for possible tornadoes in our area, which was the whole reason why we canceled classes, and then, I didn't feel anything strong till this afternoon, like I said, which would have been way after classes had been done, but oh well. Yeah, I'm using Vaseline because I don't have a candle for the wax. So, the idea is, right, when we scratch it up, usually with the candle, wherever the wax of the candle is, the paint will not adhere. Well, it's the same idea with the Vaseline. That, you know, your paint will not adhere there and you'll be able to take it off. So, fingers crossed it does end up working, because I cannot find a candle. Yes, it is supposed to freeze tonight. I know. That's why I've been trying to make sure that the cats stay indoors. Wick was outside earlier and came running back in. Knuckle brain. I tried to tell him it was very windy. But typical men, he won't listen. As soon as the wind started blowing, and you know, it messes with a cat's ears when there's lots of wind. So he quickly ended up coming back in. So, but yeah, it is supposed to get pretty darn bad. See, North Georgia was getting snow, which was crazy. Because it's like, geez, did we not just have like freezing and snow and all of that kind of stuff? Like, why do we have to have it again? So. Okay, let's see if that'll be any better. Alright, now let me grab a different brush so I can do my top color. Yeah, chapstick, that makes sense. Because chapstick is just hard Vaseline, pretty much. So we're just going to get our paint all on this. So nobody told me what you guys think I'm going to do with the back of this. Anybody got any ideas? Yeah, the weather this year has been more unusual than normal. I mean, I can't even be like, oh, that's just Georgia weather, because it's not. It's so weird. Yeah, I don't like Chippy either. That's why normally my thing is Crackle. If I do anything, it's going to be Crackle. I don't do Chippy, but it was part of what we had to do today, so yeah, give me Crackle in a challenge any day. I'll do that. Chippy, not my thing, but hey, I was like, I'll do it. It does get very, very messy when you start getting all those pieces off. I mean, it's a cool look, don't get me wrong. Some people are really good at it. Not my thing though. Yeah, I like Crackle too. I mean, I've crackled on wood, I've crackled on glass, I've crackled on paper, cardboard. Like, yeah, I'll crackle. It's a fun concept. Nope. No fire involved. But yes, too, I'm gonna decoupage, but I'm not using fire. I actually want the paper to be seen through the holes, because I mean, if I do decoupage and I do the napkin, then I'm not, I mean, what am I going to be, you wouldn't be able to see the chippy at that point, because this I think ultimately should go like on a round or a rectangle of some sort. At least that's what I'm thinking. Not 100% sure yet, but at least I'll have this part done. And then I can decide what I'm going to do with it. You know, sometimes it's not about completing a full project, but having maybe an element done for a future project. That's how I see it, because that's what ends up happening many times. So trying to go over where I was a little too sparse with my paint, because I don't want it to not look painted. It is a little bit of an odd shape though, so you know, it's kind of strange to paint with all the openings, but it'll be okay. Yeah, no, the fire method would have been cool, but not what we were going for. You were thinking sun catcher? Yeah? But even then I would want it the sun to come through, right? Yeah, some kind of paper is going to go on the background. That's for sure. Now I gotta come up with an idea for a sun catcher for Saturday, because that event is sun catcher themed. But we shall see, we shall see. They need this to dry. Now I've seen some of the crafts from this event, and they were very, very pretty. Definitely a group of very talented ladies. So if you have not seen what everybody did, please go check out the group. Okay. Scrapey tool. Scrapey tool time. If I can grab my scrapey tool. Where'd you go? Let's use you. I never understood adding heat to dry wax or Vaseline when it melts it. No, it doesn't, actually. It just dries the paint that you're using, but it doesn't, and because there's a layer there, now you're able to scrape off that paint that didn't adhere to the bottom. You know, because that's essentially what we're doing, is you're creating a barrier to where the top layer of paint cannot adhere to the bottom layer of paint, so it doesn't stick. So then when you come back and you scrape it, that you are left with the parts that had that exposed. You have that left. Hey, that's fine. You know me. Ask those questions. I will do my very best to try to answer them. Okay? Because if we're not here to help each other grow and inspire each other, then what on earth are we here for? You know? My purpose, I have felt, and getting stronger and stronger, is that of passing my knowledge and passion down to y'all. So whether I'm doing a live or I'm hosting a retreat or whatever, I want you to ask those questions, because I want to, you know, show you, and you know, what I've learned, what I've been blessed to understand. And like I've always told my students, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Because I bet you if you're thinking it, somebody else was thinking it too. Okay? Hello there, Miss Lori. Okay, now this is just me being a little on the anal side, okay? So I'm going inside and kind of trying to get some of that extra paint off of the inside cutouts. But that's just me, okay? I don't like it. Exactly. There is no dumb question. You know? If you're thinking it, somebody else has thought it. You know, a lot of questions I thought of when I was learning. So, I will never condemn you for asking a question, because it's not my place. My place is to share the knowledge that has been shared and gifted to me. Because like I said, I probably had that same question at some point too, which I did when I was learning the difference between chippies and crackles. So I'm like, wait a second, but in my head, wax is always going to melt. Yes, wax melts, but we would have to have sat here for a long, long time. Vaseline only melts and becomes watery, but it still creates a barrier to where that paint from the top layer does not adhere to the paint of the bottom layer. And that's all that is. Okay, so I think I have accomplished a decent crackle. A decent chippy. So now I'm gonna dry it though. I like crackle too. Okay. I like crackle too. Chippy is nice and all, don't get me wrong. But I guess it's because Chippy is gives the illusion of very, very worn out. And I like the look of vintage, but I don't like this look of vintage. You know what I mean? And again, that is just me. And see, I can still feel the, where did my paper towel go to? I can still feel where the Vaseline was. It's still kind of shiny there, so I'm just going to pat this off because I don't like the look of that shine. And again, that is just because that petroleum jelly would not let anything adhere. Haha, see, there we go. There's still a little bit, some little parts there with but it's not that bad. Okay, let me grab my papers. I hate when you do this. Now, right now, Hobby Lobby has a lot of things on clearance, but paper. I have not seen paper. Paper is not one of their clearance items. I did pick up some wood, some metal, and things of that nature. Alright, this was from the last time they had clearance. So I'm going to find a piece of paper that I like for the back. And see, and some of these papers have the look of, what's that called? Of the Chippy to them. Come on, where are you? Too freaking bright, too dark. I feel like that gets lost. And I don't want the background to be too lost. Look at that. See, this has got Chippy on it, and it's green. I actually kind of like how that looks. So that is the first one. Then of course we can always, no, I like the other teal though. The one in the back. If I'm going to do a teal. You could just do a plain background. It really highlights the pink, because it's very, that background is very similar to what we colored the front. I don't like that. So again, I am the last presenter for today, but thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I I really do appreciate it, friends. I really, really do. Because I know that for some, it is very late. See, I like these colors. I just feel like kind of... What do you guys think? Do you think this kind of gets lost in there? What are y'all thoughts? Do you think that gets lost because it's too similar in colors? I mean, it's beautiful, but I feel like it gets lost. Yeah, it does get lost, doesn't it? Really like this blue. So we either have blue. Well, hello there. Distress the outside or use a marker. True. So I either like that one or this one, and they're also both like a chippy texture to them. So the green or the blue, which one do you guys think looks better? So here's the two options, the green or the blue. That's the blue, this is the green, and you guys can see it there, so you can tell me which one do you guys think looks best. Hello there, little of me gifts. Hi, Miss Lisa. The green, you like the green? Okay, so we got one vote for green. Sheila says the green. That's 2 votes for green. Anybody else want to vote? Before I completely go ahead and glue her down. Well, when she glued down, she glued down. Sherry says that out of these, she actually likes the blue. Okay. So that's the blue. And then there's the green. The blue. So I have 2 votes for green and 1 vote for blue. Anybody else want to vote? Now my other Sherry has said blue. Okay, so now I got 2 of y'all saying blue. Anybody else want to break the tie? Nana's Nook says blue. Everybody else is saying blue. Okay. Guess we're going with blue. Okay. I am going to take my Distress Oxide. Thank you for the sprinkles. I appreciate it very, very much. I'll do my best to get some distressing into these parts. Well, for anybody who's in the middle of this weird weather, please, please, please be safe, take care. I'm very glad that everything they were saying, like the power outages and all that, didn't happen today. But, you know, We have freezing weather. So of course, you know, they're like cover your plants, bring inside any pets, all of that. So we've definitely still got some of this stuff coming. Now, like I said, we had some pretty bad winds earlier. I was keeping an eye on that little nest and hoping that it wouldn't go anywhere. So I'm hoping that the little couple will come back and try again this season. We've been seeing a lot of cardinals coming to where I have bird seed, along with a bunch of little brown birds. I just love that. We also put out a hummingbird feeder because we get lots of hummingbirds. Very high winds here and cold. Oh wow. Wow, that is crazy that it snowed. Yeah, it's like, what in the world? You know, you can go back to the Arctic and you can stay there. I believe the polar bears prefer you than we do. So yeah, it's definitely been a day, hasn't it? Like I said, I just hope everybody stays safe through it all. And thank you so much, Miss Sherry, for having me. I really do appreciate you very much. I hope that Miss Tammy is okay. She was supposed to be on at 9 and was not going to be able to make it, which is why I hopped on earlier than my time. You know, there's a lot of stuff going around, and we have a lot of because of the funky weathers, there's lots of things happening, lots of people also getting sick. So just keep each other in prayers at all times. Because you never know. Alright, so all distressed. Now we can glue her on. Good night. I hope you have a restful evening. Miss Teresa, thank you for popping in, friend. Okay, so we're just gonna glue. Alright, I was using that one because this one has the finer tip out of my glues. Because my wood glue is like quite large tipped. I cut it wrong. And this is just the wood glue from the Dollar Tree, which I really like. It's what I use anytime I'm using anything wood related. It really works. It's good. I've not had any issues with it. That's one of those things that, you know, and it definitely does last me, so. Sweet dreams, Miss Sherry. You too. Stay safe, my friend. I will be hopping off before y'all know it. But again, thank you so much for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. Question is, do I want to go like that, or do I want to go like this? Okay. Now I can let this dry, and then I'll be able to cut it and trim it down. And I'm gonna let it dry fully before I go to cutting too much, because I don't want to accidentally make a mess. So I'm gonna leave it right here. That way also I'm not taking up any more time than I need to, seeing as everybody did have an hour and I do not want to go over that. But this is what it's gonna look like when it's nice and finished. It'll be all trimmed up with the blue coming out the background, and then I'll end up putting her probably on some kind of a round or something of that nature. But this is my Chippy butterfly. So hopefully you guys liked it and enjoyed the time here. Maybe you learned something new on how to do Chippy. If you've never done it before, give it a try. It is messy, as you saw. It is messy. But hey, you know, sometimes you gotta get messy to have fun and to actually create art. So I hope everybody has a lovely evening. Thank you again, Miss Sherry, for having me. And for all the presenters that were on today, make sure you go back and watch them if you get a chance, and let everybody know that you know, you were there just by saying #replay. So thank you again so very much, my friends. I hope you guys have a blessed evening. It is Monday night, so it is the start of the week, my friends, and I will be on every single day this week. Every single day I am scheduled to be in an event, so check out my post that I did earlier today with all the flyers for all the events that I will be in. I am missing Saturday and Sunday because they haven't released those flyers yet, but as soon as those come up, I will add that to that post. So hopefully you'll come and see me and the rest of the creators. Thank you again for having me. I love you guys. Be safe wherever you are, and be blessed, and remember that you are greatly loved. I love you. Ciao!